ever since hemp was legalized, there's been an influx of CBD companies on the market to the point where it's become impossible to know who to trust in the CBD market. Who is who? I mean, seriously. There's so many places to buy it from that if you don't know what you're looking for or the questions to ask or the information that you should be gathering from their product page, then you're at a loss and you might get something that wasn't sustainably grown, is full of pesticides and contaminants, or something that doesn't even contain CBD in it. So today we're going to go over how to look for a quality company when you buy CBD online. First question up is, should you trust large consumer marketplaces like Amazon or Etsy? While both marketplaces sell CBD or hemp extract or hemp oil, you won't see it listed as CBD specifically. I would suggest not purchasing it from Amazon or eBay or even Etsy or other large marketplaces like this. The problem is there's not enough fact checking going on, and these companies are already being shady by not calling it CBD, which is what it is, because these are not allowed to be sold on Amazon or Etsy or eBay, except that people are renaming it and putting it on there. So now you have to wonder, is if you're wanting to be that shady, are you even telling me the truth about what's in this product right now? You don't know. You simply don't know. So I would avoid Amazon, eBay, Etsy, any other large marketplace, simply to ensure that you get exactly what you are paying for. Next question. Does the company take time to educate you on cannabis? So CBD is a cannabinoid of the cannabis plant, which is extracted for these products. And when you look at a company that's trying to sell you CBD salves, capsules, teas, or tinctures, you should also look at if these people are taking the time to educate you on what is CBD versus THC and what is broad spectrum versus full spectrum, as well as the ailments that CBD can treat and the ailments that it may not treat according to research. A company that takes the time to educate you on these things is trying to bring the world more awareness around the plant. They're not simply in it to make their sales and maxing out their pay-per-click campaigns. They're taking time to create videos and content and infographics and other posts to ensure that you understand everything that this plant has to offer before you decide that it's something that's going to fit into your life. Another question you'll want to be sure to ask: are the products tested by a third-party laboratory? So, you get your hemp from the field, you extract it, it's ready for your products. Are your products tested at this point? Is the CBD oil that's extracted and added to the products tested? You want this test to be done from a third party to ensure that it wasn't doctored or falsified in any way. You also want the test done to ensure that there's no pesticides, no contaminants, nothing except for what they are telling you is being sold. Oftentimes you'll find a QR code on the back of a product that you can scan, and it'll bring up the latest lab report for the products. This is excellent to have on your CBD products. Then you're able to pull the lab. You'll want to check the date on the lab, ensure that it's not too old and that it's, from this season. Are they using stuff from 3 years ago, 2 years ago? You want fresh, potent herb in your products. Besides wanting to have the lab report from a third-party lab, you'll also want to see that that third-party lab is accredited and follows general practices to ensure that all of the tests are standardized. One of these certifications is the ISO certification. I believe there are other ones as well. It's important to check these things to ensure that their machinery is calibrated properly and they are inspected regularly to ensure that your lab tests are correct and what you're getting in your product is the right thing. Another important question to ask is, what other ingredients does the product contain? So if you're buying a CBD tincture, you'll want to know what else is in it. Is it just the CBD extract and MCT oil or another carrier oil? And maybe some flavoring. What kind of flavoring? Is it artificial? Is it from natural sources? Looking at these things is important. You also, if you get salves or bath salts, other beauty products that contain CBD, you want to make sure they're not using artificial fragrances that are cancer causing, or palm oil that's causing deforestation in South America, as well as other harmful ingredients that you simply don't want to put on your skin or in your body, because CBD is this healing, loving plant that's here to provide for you in whatever way you need. But if you add toxic ingredients to it, you're defeating the purpose of its healing abilities. You want to ensure the most pure, organic, natural ingredients are added to your CBD products. On the subject of ingredients, you'll also want to know, where did the hemp come from and how was it cultivated? So, this is an important one. There's a lot of cheap shit that comes in through China and other countries that is really low in CBD and doesn't actually provide a lot of medicinal benefits, yet it's bottled up in beautiful bottles and sold every day. And people buy it. And then they buy it and they try it and they're like, oh, CBD doesn't work. I don't understand all these crazy people that are obsessed with CBD. Well, dude, your product probably didn't have a lot of CBD in it to begin with. So it's important to know, where is it grown? On top of that, you want to know how it was grown. So are these farmers utilizing toxic chemicals like Roundup that's filled with glyphosate, spraying their fields for the hemp plant to absorb this? Or are these farmers continually adding biomass and nutrients and looking to make the soil healthier after every growing season? So the company you choose should be giving back to Mother Earth, the provider of these plants. But if they're choosing not to, and they're choosing to go this toxic, gnarly route, you have to wonder, how much do they care about your health? How much do they care about the plant? The plant is the medicine, and you're the person that is needing this medicine. You already get enough toxins in your daily life. We don't need any more. We're looking for ways to get rid of the toxins. How can I get rid of all this inflammation that's caused by the toxins? How can I get rid of this other thing caused by the toxins? Always outside forces coming in and causing problems inside the body. That's why we have to get as close to Mother Nature as possible, as close as we can. So you need to look at those companies that are giving back to the planet, and ultimately growing plants that know they're doing the work needed to help bring our planet back into homeostasis. And if they're not doing this, then you need to reconsider who you're buying your CBD products from. All of the products on our website are grown within about 10 miles of our house by friends of ours, and then it's processed in the same city that it's grown in, and then it's packaged here, and then it's sent out to you lovely people. But you don't always get that opportunity when you're making these purchases. But I highly suggest, when it comes to CBD, you try to find someone where the farmer to the product is what's happening. They're growing it and they're turning it into a product. So here's the product, the hemp grows right down the road. And that's the important part. Once you've figured out all the ingredients that are in your product you're about to buy, where the CBD has come from, how it's grown, looked at the lab reports, you're super satisfied with everything now. You're like, I'm ready to buy. There's still more questions. What type of CBD is used? Do you have an isolate, full spectrum, broad spectrum? Do we even know what all of these are? So, yeah, there's all different products. So CBD isolate's going to be pure CBD with no other cannabinoids at all. whereas full spectrum will be an extraction method that extracts all the cannabinoids together. THC will be under that 0.3% for legal requirements. And then your full spectrum, no, we just did full spectrum. Your broad spectrum is kind of a mix where it's all the cannabinoids, but THC has been pulled out. So by understanding this, you understand what cannabinoids help you the best. So a CBD isolate may be good for some people. Oftentimes though, it's more advantageous to combine all of the cannabinoids together for the entourage effect, which allows a greater spectrum of healing for the individual taking the CBD product. And when you do a full spectrum or a broad spectrum, you get CBG and CBN, a little bit of THC in the full spectrum, as well as all of these other cannabinoids that aren't necessarily studied yet, but have shown to have medicinal properties. And when you combine everything together in the plant world, you often get exactly what you need, because Mother Earth didn't mess up, dude. She made these things the way they're meant to be. So when we just pull one thing out or stuff another thing in, you're messing with the way that the universe wanted us to experience it. So to me, I would go with a full spectrum product or a broad spectrum. If you have hesitancy on having THC in your product, I would probably steer clear of CBD isolate. So before you hit the buy button, we've got one more question you've got to ask before buying CBD online. How much CBD is in each individual dose? So just because the bottle says 4,500 milligrams doesn't mean each capsule in there is coming with 4,500 milligrams of CBD. It means the entire bottle has 4,500. Comes out to 150 milligrams a capsule, which is high strength CBD compared to other ones such as 1,000 milligram tincture. 30 doses though, that's 33.3 milligrams every time you're dosing compared to 150. So you'll want to run these numbers, especially if you're already familiar with how many milligrams you're going to need. If you're not, maybe starting out with a tincture and titrating. We'll cover that dosing in another video. Today we're focusing more on numbers, figuring out the numbers so that you get the best bang for your buck.